After the president's travel ban tweet storm, legal experts, both in support of Trump and against him, argued that he was hurting his case in court. Neil Katyal, who's the former acting solicitor general representing Hawaii in this lawsuit, he is tweeting, "It's kind of odd to have the defendant in Hawaii versus Trump acting as our co-counsel. We don't need the help, but we'll take it." And then a lawyer supporting the president, George Conway, you might know that last name because he is the husband of one Kellyanne Conway, tweeted this: "These tweets may make some people feel better, but they certainly won't help OSG get 5 votes in SCOTUS," which is what actually matters. Sad. So is Trump hurting his own case? Let me bring in my swashbuckling party panel. Tonight it's Jillian Turner, a former White House Security Council staffer and Fox News contributor and host of the new show You're Welcome on Compound Media. It's Michael Malice. It's spelled the right way. Excellent. Dave Smith is also here. He's comedian and host of the Part of the Problem podcast. So much freedom. Thank you so much for being here. A glorious night. So let's talk about this a little bit. I think you agree with me on Sessions, right?
On what, the drug war stuff?
Yeah, and just that he should...
That he lacks life skills.
He lacks life skills.
Yes.
Thank you, Jillian.
He's married to the most evil, failed policy, domestic policy, at least in modern American history.
The president is catching heat from people like Kellyanne Conway's husband.
Yeah,
who says that he
a
is
major player in
hurting
the
his
game.
case on Twitter, but it's a little ridiculous that pre-election campaign rhetoric and social media now equals legal precedent.
Yeah, it is strange, but you know, these are the times that we live in. This is Donald Trump on Twitter is what we're going to deal with, so
yeah.
It's not going to stop.
Yeah, I guess that's the ceiling. The ceiling is the roof. So does this put us on the fast track to Chaosville?
Well, we're already there.
Are we?
I mean, Washington's complete chaos. You ask anybody. But I think what we saw with the healthcare debate is that SCOTUS has sometimes they will vote independently of the arguments. Like the Obama administration was arguing that it wasn't a tax, the individual mandate, and they found for them and said yes, it is, despite all your arguments. So. Plus, Trump said many things during the campaign that he can't put back in the bottle. So yeah, maybe he's making it worse, but they can certainly go back and say, look, you referred to it as a Muslim ban at many points while you were campaigning.
Yeah.
It's clear your intention. There's no way they can erase that.
I know, but intention, and I agree with his lawyers that once you take the oath, everything changes. Once you assume the presidency, everything changes. But does this change how presidential candidates will campaign in the future if they know that their stump speeches may come back to haunt them in legal cases?
Well, they're going to stay off social media, I think.
You think?
Maybe it's too soon to say. It depends how this shakes out.
Yeah.
But if you put aside the legal component for a second, I think in this instance, when it comes to tweeting about the ban or the non-ban, or whatever they're calling it, the problem is that whatever the president tweets, whether they consider it official, whether they consider it archivable eventually or not, it kind of renders his spokespeople obsolete.
Yeah.
Meaning no one cares what Kellyanne Conway or Sean Spicer is saying at the White House briefing if the president is tweeting what he's really thinking that morning or that evening or in the middle of the night.
No.
You know, it kind of eliminates the need for those positions. So if he's going to stick to Twitter, I'd almost recommend that you get rid of your spokespeople and you just go direct to the American people.
Well,
via
that's
social
what he
media.
talked about. He talked about on Judge Janine, the Trump administration making a big push to advance the president's agenda earlier today. The president met with top congressional Republicans behind closed doors to fine-tune their game plan. The president tweeted, "Big meeting today with Republican leadership concerning tax cuts and health care. We are all pushing hard. Must get it right." That's a ringing endorsement. The White House wants to get health care done before the summer recess so Congress can focus on tax reform when they return in the fall. But many GOP senators are doubting a health care plan can be agreed upon anytime soon. I'm with them. I don't think there is a miracle in the
You're so pessimistic, Kennedy. Look, these Republicans are going to cut government any day now. Any day now we're going to get this small government that they keep talking about will get health care repealed and tax
There's like
cuts.
10 people at the Department of Defense right now. It's already been cut.
That's
well, okay, what do you say if you're talking about cuts,
$600 billion.
we're talking about record high
I meant
budgets.
like people who are working there. Like you're cutting
Okay.
My point is he's cutting government by not appointing people to positions.
There's a very easy way to see whether there's net cuts or net added, and that's just look at total spending, which will go up as it does every single time Republicans have control of the government. I just wish they would take small government out of their vocabulary and admit what they are. So
there are some small government Republicans. I'm going to talk to one in just a few minutes.
Yes, you're right. There's 3, and you'd have all of them on your show.
That's right.
And, but I'll say we'll get like what we had with Bush.
Yep.
You might get some small marginal tax cuts. You won't get anything like what Trump was talking about with big,
I would love big tax reform, though.
3-4%, and spending will go way up, and it will end up canceling all of that out anyway. Just like
it's going to be a lot easier for him to get tax reform than health care reform, because that you might have some Democrats coming over.
Do they have to do health care first? I mean, that's this whole thing like, well, we have to save $1 trillion.
But there's no governing majority in the House or the Senate when it comes to health care. That's the thing. Even though you have a Republican majority, there are 2 huge wings, and John Boehner had to quit the House because, like, I can't deal with you people anymore. And they agreed on Paul Ryan, who is vilely hated by so many in the base. So I don't see how they get that vote through on health care, especially when those Democrats are going to sit there, cross their arms, and laugh and say, you're getting this change
not getting any help
over
from
our dead bodies.
But, you know, that might be the best thing, because if the system implodes, like Michael Malice expects that it will, he's quite a prognosticator when it comes to anarchy, then the free market will reign supreme in healthcare and people will live forever.
I think
is that the ultimate goal?
Yes.
Immortality.
We all want to live forever.
Immortality.
That's the big
fame.
That's why we're all here right now. No, but to be serious about the timing issue of this, I think that timing is sometimes everything, and unfortunately that's really undercutting Republicans when it comes to health care, because as the first failed go-around showed, you really can't rush this vote, because you're not going to get to where you need to be. Which
they're rushing the vote, though. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're trying to jam it through before the recess.
Well, and then the other problem, though, is the thing is that getting more time is not necessarily going to help them, because they're not getting any more votes.
And they'll get hit in the media repeatedly regardless.
We could extend for 5 years, and I don't think they're getting any more votes.
They're going to go on vacation. I hope they're going into the wilderness. Well, I don't, but they, they might say,
oh, of course.
A little word there, Michael. Thank you for clarifying.
My pleasure.
Well, I will see the panel in just a little bit.
It's way too late to be this locked inside ourselves. The trouble.
Come here. That's what that song's called. Isn't that great? The party panel returns and rejoins in just a few minutes. Bad news for beer distributors. A growing number of American men are deciding not to go to college. According to the Bureau of Economic Research, females now outnumber males by 2 to 1. That's the ratio on college campuses. Some men say they could do without the massive student debt, and others say the campus environment has become downright hostile toward men. Now, it's a great time to be a single guy on college campus, but perhaps the worst time to be running, said campus. The party panel is back to share their infinite wisdom. Jillian Turner, Michael Malice, and Dave Smith. Dave, I read the story with no surprise at all whatsoever. Why would any guy want to go to college when you have Tinder?
Yeah, really. Or you're just spending yourself into an insane amount of debt to listen to how horrible you are all day. I mean, there's something really interesting, right, where for decades you've had this trend where more and more people are going to college, and then the price of college is getting super inflated, which is the opposite of any market force.
Doesn't make any sense. Exactly
but the only reason it exists is because the government guarantees all loans for college. So you have this it's like these two things can't continue. And the fact that more people go means the degrees are worth less. While that's going on, the college campus has been completely undermined as the center of intellectual exchange, because I mean, your average podcast has a more interesting conversation than a gender studies class does.
That's a really good
it's
point.
like all falling apart for them, and I couldn't imagine, like, I don't have kids, I couldn't imagine advising a kid to go to college.
No, it's something that we talk about in our family, because our daughters are 8 and 11, so it's down the road a little bit, but I'm saying to myself, if we're going to shell out a couple $100,000, my goodness, the environment had better change.
Right, you were a philosophy major. I've never taken an English course because I didn't want to waste time educating professors. I never took a class in being an obnoxious jerk on TV, and yet these people are stuck in the universities because they bring nothing to the table and they're horrible, and they're teaching the kids to be disgusting and horrible.
Jillian, you just graduated from college.
Here's the problem that I'm seeing with this. Even if you get rid of all men nationwide on every college campus, they're still everywhere. You're going to have to talk to them in the street. You're going to have to talk to them at the grocery store. They're still everywhere,
Right
so you
here.
can't really get rid of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any solutions?
To getting rid of men? No. I mean, I think how boring would it be if it's just a bunch of gals running around talking about how they miss Lilith Fair?
I mean,
Isn't that what they do in
I would
college?
rather that.
Do you have any Indigo Girls rarities and B-sides?
I'm going to a Natalie Merchant concert this summer.
I am so
I'm really
sorry.
excited.
I am so sorry.
I love her.
Why?
Oh my God, it's Alternative Nation up in here.
We never played Natalie Merchant. That was
She's
not a
so
buzz
great.
clip.
Only 10,000
She's so
maniacs.
great.
You want to walk? It's a spot-on impression. If there are any blind people in the studio, they think Natalie Merchant is singing, and actually they think it's an improvement. So there you have it.
I'll be sure to Instagram the whole thing. I'll send you clips.
Yeah, I'll heart every single one of them. You guys are amazing.
You're amazing.
And you keep my Liberty lamp lit.
That was the best closeout to a panel I've ever been a part of.
Thank you, Dave Smith. It's because I can huff your essence. You, Michael Malice, and Jillian Turner. It's a great night already.